with your certified most accurate forecast. This is a Fox 54 Weather Impact Alert.
And a good Thursday morning to you. I'm Fox 54 Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Only going to mention Thursday for just a couple of quick seconds. Temperatures are going to climb into the lower 50s this afternoon, and we're maintaining a small opportunity for a couple of isolated showers as we go throughout the day. I wanted to spend the rest of our time this morning talking about our Fox 54 Weather Impact Alert weekend. As you are well aware, we have Fox 54 Weather Impact Alert days both Saturday and Sunday, and then again as we head into your Monday. We'll talk all about that here in just a second. We also have a winter storm watch that is set to go into effect across all of North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. That's going to run Friday evening through Sunday evening. I believe the exact timing there is going to be 6 p.m. on Friday through 6 p.m. on Sunday. There have been some changes to the forecast over the last 24 hours, and I can about assure you there's going to be some changes to the forecast as we head into the afternoon. Meteorologist Emily Owen is going to provide an update for you this morning, somewhere between, say, 11:30 in the morning and noon, and she'll have a more refined forecast for you as we are now into Thursday. The newer model runs that come out this morning and then as we head into the early part of the afternoon are going to provide us a lot of very detailed information that up until this point we haven't necessarily had, but this is what we're looking at right now. An area of low pressure looks like it's going to be tracking a little bit further to the north. Now, we've been talking about this area of low pressure for the last several days, and we've been talking about what would happen if it tracked further to the north or if it tracked further to the south. Well, now it looks like that area of low pressure is going to track a little bit further to the north. This would allow some slightly warmer air to build into the Tennessee Valley. And what do I mean by slightly warmer air? I don't mean we're necessarily going to go from the mid and upper 20s to the upper 20s and lower 30s. I mean we're actually talking about slightly warmer air that would be above freezing, 33, 34, or even 35 degrees. And we could see this not just on Saturday, but on Sunday as well. And when you're talking about temperatures that are above freezing, that's actually going to alter the forecast quite a bit. As a matter of fact, warmer air is going to mean far less snow across the Tennessee Valley. As a matter of fact, as of right now, the snow is the least of our concerns. Now, that could change. The area of low pressure could decide to dive a little bit further to the south, and we could be talking about snow, but I don't really think that's going to happen. So warmer air would mean far less snow and a greater ice or just straight liquid rain chance across the Tennessee Valley. So here's what I think is going to happen. One of two scenarios are going to play out. Scenario one, and that's the trending one. This is the scenario that I think is going to end up coming to fruition across the Tennessee Valley. And I'll show you this here in just a second when we look at Futurecast. Temperatures are going to be a bit higher, which is going to bring more normal rain into the Tennessee Valley. Normally I use the phrase liquid rain. In this case, I'm just going to say a normal rain because I feel like it eliminates any and all confusion. This is going to lower the overall impact slightly. And I really mean slightly. There is still going to be a significant impact from normal rain because let's say we get a little bit of normal rain to fall through the course of the afternoon. Well, temperatures are going to drop below freezing Saturday night and Sunday night. So whatever normal rain falls on the roadways is just going to freeze right over, and we're still going to be talking about some dangerous driving conditions. But as far as an immediate impact is concerned, and by immediate, I mean while the precipitation is falling, that impact is going to be lower. Now, scenario number two could also play out. I think the chances of scenario number two happening are lower, but this is the other scenario we're looking at. Let's say there's a chance that the temperatures do not climb. Now, this is going to lead to a more widespread, prolonged freezing rain event, which has a much bigger immediate impact. If you're talking about widespread, prolonged freezing rain, well, now you're talking about power outages. Now you're talking about downed trees and downed limbs. Now you're talking about incredibly dangerous driving conditions. That impact is going to be more immediate. And then at the same time, it is also going to be more prolonged. I think scenario one is going to end up playing out. Here's Futurecast to kind of play out scenario one. Regardless of whether we get scenario one or scenario two, when the precipitation moves into the Tennessee Valley early Saturday morning, it is going to start as frozen precipitation, whether that's a little bit of freezing rain or maybe even that's a little bit of snow, especially up across southern Middle Tennessee and northwest Alabama, Lauderdale, Colbert, and then down into Franklin counties. I think you're going going to find that as we go through Futurecast here over the next couple of minutes, the greatest impact as far as frozen precipitation is definitely going to be across southern Middle Tennessee and far northwest Alabama. 3 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, we're talking about scattered frozen precipitation across a good chunk of the Tennessee Valley. Futurecast trying to keep our friends over in northeast Alabama a couple of degrees above freezing, forecasting Fort Payne to be at 35 and Albertville to be at 34 degrees. Look what happens 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. Well below freezing up across southern Middle Tennessee, below freezing across northwest Alabama, really below freezing locations west of the I-65 corridor. So kind of in these locations, we're still going to be talking about frozen precipitation. But look what Futurecast is doing. It's trying to bring in more liquid rain because temperatures are a couple of degrees above freezing east of the I-65 corridor. And this is certainly going to be possible. And this is kind of scenario 1 playing out, where we get a little bit more of that liquid rain in some locations. By the time we get to the later part of the morning, still talking about frozen precipitation across northwest Alabama. But then the liquid precipitation kind of filters in everywhere as we head into the lunch hour. Now, I want you to bear in mind that this is just one weather model and things can and will change. So we're going to have to continue to watch this because this could very well change. And instead of liquid precipitation, we could go back to talking about a prolonged widespread freezing rain event. If the low pressure were to dive back to the south, well, then we'd be going back to looking at snow. Here's Futurecast as we head into the overnight on Saturday, trying to hold many of us just a couple of degrees above freezing. I don't necessarily know if I agree with the temperatures at that point. But then as we head into Sunday afternoon, look what happens. Still holding on to the frozen precipitation across northwest Alabama. Everybody else is a few degrees above freezing, and you're also going to realize this in the 7-day forecast, which means we continue to talk about a liquid rain. So because of that, I've adjusted ice totals. I'm not going to show you snow totals because I think snow totals are going to be incredibly low. But where we're going to get the highest ice totals, up across southern Middle Tennessee and far northwest Alabama. This particular model is trying to bring a higher ice total to Fort Payne. I believe that would be the highest elevations of northeast Alabama. Otherwise, that's not really going to happen. And then elsewhere across North Alabama, where temperatures are actually going to climb or are expected to climb a couple of degrees above freezing, we would be looking at much lower ice totals. But that doesn't eliminate the impact. Not in the least, because while we're going to be talking about liquid rain, again, that liquid rain is just simply going to freeze over as we head into the overnight Saturday and then the overnight on Sunday. I've got a forecast high of 35 degrees on Saturday, 34 on Sunday. We drop below freezing Saturday night, early Sunday morning. Look at that. Got a low temperature right around 30 degrees. And then Sunday night going into Monday, look at that. I've got a low temperature right around 13. So everything is going to freeze over Sunday night, early into Monday morning. And then from there, it would stay frozen as we head into Monday afternoon, because temperatures are only going to climb into the mid-20s. We've got a high temperature of 25 degrees. And that's honestly why we have the Fox 54 Weather Impact Alert Day also on Monday. Yes, all of the precipitation is going to fall Saturday and Sunday, but then it's just simply going to be cold on Monday. So whatever does fall, whatever does freeze is not going to melt on Monday. It will, however, melt on Tuesday. We are going to start Tuesday off incredibly cold, but we'll climb into the mid-30s Tuesday afternoon, upper 30s, lower 40s as we head into your Wednesday. Stick around to Fox 54 Plus. We got more weather and traffic updates coming up. And then, like I also said, meteorologist Emily Owen will provide an update for you later this morning or very early this afternoon.